Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Edmonton. Tonight we have a terrific matchup in the CEBL as both teams are looking to right the ship and get some momentum. My name is Mark Majot, and I'll be joined momentarily by our broadcast crew, Doug McLean and Keir Lyons. The Edmonton Stingers are back at home after a brief road trip out west saw them drop a decision to the Vancouver Bandits. They're looking to get back on track here at home. Meanwhile, the Niagara Riverlines are 0-2 in the middle of a beast of a 4-game road trip to open up the 2026 campaign. Both teams understand the importance of this one. Both teams are going to be fighting tooth and nail for momentum. And for more on tonight's matchup, let's throw it over to our broadcast colleagues Doug McLean and Kira Lyons. Take it away, Doug and Kira.
Thanks, Mark. And yeah, Kira, like Mark said, it's both these teams, it's early this season. It's not a long season. And both these teams need to get going right now. Just one win between the two of them.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing, the beginning of the CEBL season. It's happens really quickly. You're missing pieces. Guys are kind of in and out. It's really hard to get any sort of chemistry when you have a training camp of 3 days. And we talked about earlier, like Niagara hasn't had a home game and isn't going to have one for a while. And I think that's a really cohesive piece too. So yeah, it's really hard to know kind of what's going to happen, but it's always really exciting.
Take a look at some of the matchup stats between these two clubs as we get ready for tip-off in a few minutes' time. Two teams with strong pedigrees, the only two teams that have won 2 CEBL titles each. Of course, the Riverlines, 2-time defending CEBL champions. As we take a look at some of the numbers coming into this one, we'll get into these in a little more detail as the game rolls on. One thing we will talk about as we go along, assist-turnover ratio. Both these teams, both 1-to-1 right now, and you as a coach, Kira, that would not be a number that would make you very happy.
Yeah, you definitely need to make sure that you're taking care of the basketball. I think that's one thing that the Stingers have struggled with kind of historically, is just having that offense. And you lose somebody like Sean East, and you need to be able to find ways to generate that scoring. And with Niagara, just I think they look a little bit maybe not uncomfortable with each other offensively, but unsure about what the roles are, and just don't have quite that rhythm and that chemistry yet.
And let's go down. We've got Mark Majot with Stingers general manager and head coach Jordan Baker.
Well, Jordan, a quick turnaround 48 hours after last game. How excited are you to be able just to flush what happened Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this new group responds to a little bit of adversity for sure.
What do you want to see different that you didn't see Friday night?
Maybe get a defensive rebound. That'd be nice. Control the tempo a little bit more. Show a little bit more resilience when it comes to our individual matchups.
This Niagara team's going to be hungry for a victory. What do you have to do to slow them down?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to make them execute deep into the shot clock. I think we got to make them defend the interior, and then nothing easy for some of their main guys.
Thanks for this. Best of luck tonight, Jordan.
Thank you.
Head coach and general manager of the Edmonton Stingers, Jordan Baker. His team looking to get back to 500. Coming back after the break. Starting lineups, keys to the game, and more. You are watching CEBL action on CBC Sports, CBC Gem, and CEBL Plus.
Hydration.
Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. Moments away from tip-off between the Edmonton Stingers and the Niagara River Lions. Doug McLean along with Kira Lyons and Mark Majot. And Kira, you've looked at some of the keys to the game for these two teams. Let's start first with the visiting River Lions.
Yeah, I think the first one, you kind of touched on it already, is just taking care of the basketball. That one-to-one turnover ratio, not great. And I think they really struggled with that when they played Vancouver in their last matchup. So giving themselves some opportunity to actually have offensive possessions and just not allowing the Stingers to get out and run by turning the basketball over. With that being said, also transition defense. The Stingers love to run. They play a fast pace. I feel like they're at their best basketball when they're playing with pace and in transition. So recognizing that, you know, you want to go hard at the glass and give yourself opportunities, but at the same time you need to get back and slow down their pace. And then 50-50s. I think that was something that Edmonton really struggled with. So Niagara being able to do that and take care of that will get them some success. And then the three for the Stingers, like, I think I could do all three of these every single time. Like, this is just the brand of basketball that, you know, Jordan and the Stingers have. Share the ball, play with pace, defend as a unit. It's a very unselfish style of basketball. And so just going back to those fundamental principles and playing together and, you know, executing the game plan as instructed.
We'll take a look now at the starting lineups for these two teams. The Stingers will go with 0 Trey King, number 1 Mike Nuga, 2 Samaj Teal, 8 Emmanuel Bandamel, and 42 Dane Dangers. Had an outstanding start to his Stingers career. For the River Lions, Curtis Hollis back. This is his second game back with the River Lions, so nice addition for Niagara. Nathan Kayo, 17 Donald Carey Jr. just signed over the course of the last week. 22 Elijah Lufile, and 23 Keontae Kennedy. And now, Kira, you've also looked at a player to watch for each team. We'll start with Nathan Kayo of the Niagara River Lions.
Yeah, I think I kind of picked 2 players for similar reasons. Like, both these teams are coming off of losses. Niagara hasn't had their first loss, and so having the experience of Kayo, somebody who can be very impactful and dominating on both ends of the floor, and I think showing his experience, and then, yeah, being impactful defensively, but also getting to the rim, not afraid to shoot the 3, and just a presence on the floor, and being that leader with some experience for the River Lions as they seek out their first win.
Yeah, 3rd year with the River Lions for Nathan Kayo. Last year, 9.8 points a game, 5.5 rebounds per game. He's played some time with the Montreal Alliance. On the flip side, for the Edmonton Stingers, you identified Mike Nuga as a key for them.
And very similar reasons. You know, a guy that's been around the league, he's been a part of this program, and he also is such a spark plug, has so much energy, and really provides some offense that the Stingers need. You know, he can shoot the 3, he can get to the rim, and he also just has this energy and this desire to have the basketball, and I think that that's really important for the Stingers. So again, coming off of that tough loss in Vancouver, I think his leadership, his experience, and his ability to be that spark plug is going to be really important for the Stingers.
Well, and a spark plug, he's always been that when he's played with Edmonton, but leads the league right now in 3-point shooting, 62.5%. Probably not going to stay at that level, but he's shot the ball. You never know.
You never know.
No disrespect, Mike, but he shot the ball really well, which has been a nice bonus for them too.
Yeah, and I think that also is a tribute to their offense, getting him good looks in out 3s that are high percentage. But yeah, he's shooting the ball really well, and I think his leadership and presence on the floor is going to be huge for the Stingers.
Spent his 26 pro season split between 3 countries. He was in Mexico, Cote d'Ivoire, and then also in Spain, where combined he averaged a little over 14 points a game, and again has brought that energy and spark that the Stingers at times have needed, especially in the backcourt.
Yeah, and also that leadership and experience when they're missing Nick Hornsby. You know, such an anchor to the team, a guy that's been around so much, and there's so many new faces and you know, young guys on this team right now, so it's really nice to have just a leadership that has that type of energy and also provides that offense that they lack sometimes.
These two teams met twice a year ago. Stingers winning both. A 106-88 win the night that the River Lions raised their first championship banner, and then in August a 92-81 win for the Stingers here in Edmonton. Kimball McKenzie, now the general manager and head coach of the River Lions, played a team-high 32 minutes and 40 seconds in that August game a little under a year ago, had 11 points. But he will be on the bench in a different capacity here today at the Edmonton Expo Center. Tip-off about to go. It is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. Tip-off won by Dane Danger. We're underway here at the Edmonton Expo Center. Stingers in their white third uniforms with yellow and blue. The River Lions in their black with, do I call that fluorescent green? Is that maybe not the technical term, but I'm going to go fluorescent green.
Fluorescent?
I'm not.
I like these third Stingers jerseys.
I like them
they're
too.
Clean. They're
nice. And
nice.
Sharp. Officials for today's game, crew chief is Reed Scott. Umpires, Troy Eager and Rian Knish. And we're underway with a triple knocked down by Trey King. Teal disrupts that initial look, and here's Lufile. Swings it over to Hollis, as mentioned, back joining the River Lions this week. And he'll answer back that King three with one of his own. And we're knotted up in the first minute. Teal to his right. Kicks it back, King, little crossover, steps back, pull-up jumper inside the arc, and he'll drain that. Trey King, nice start for him.
Wow. Pretty sharp start for both teams.
Here is Carey. Now Lufile swings it across. Kennedy, guarded by Nuga. Hits it back, Kennedy, three, a little strong. Lufile taps it away, and second chance here for Niagara. Look inside, Danger does a nice job fronting that, deflects it out of bounds.
He's such a presence in the key, like such a physical presence and so long. Like even just getting these touches early, it's going to be so impactful later in the game, just changing shots, changing looks.
Kyle to his right, gets around King, and a nice touch off the window. Samaj Teal brings it up, gives it to King. To Danger. Working against Lufile, and almost like he lost the handle and kind of rolled that off the bottom of his hand and still went for him.
I feel like I've seen him do, oh, you got to give that pass up.
Turnover and up the floor quickly. Samaj Teal and the Stingers with a 4-point edge.
I feel like I've seen him, like his hands must be gigantic, because I've seen a lot of, like, not misplays, but like juggling a basketball. He tends to come up with that often.
And the one thing that's impressed me about Danger early is exactly what we saw there. His ability in the paint, even with more traffic than he had on that possession, put the ball on the floor and get by guys to the rim. That's not easy to do for a guy his size.
Yeah, I like it seems like so far there's a lot of him playing out of the nail or out of the elbows, and so giving him that little bit of space to use his quick first step and his athleticism. Like Lufile is a very big dominant presence, but I do think that advantage goes to Danger when you start to bring him outside the key a little bit. So I like watching him, attacking early and taking advantage of that matchup.
Just gonna adjust the clock down to 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Nuga to inbound. Nuga making his first start of the season for Jordan Baker in his third appearance. Okay, Donald has started a couple times in the backcourt for Edmonton. And there's another three. Samaj Teal, who has been hot early in games for Edmonton.
Got to stay out of foul trouble.
Hollis guarded closely by Bandamel. Takes a screen from Lufile. Lufile at the free throw line, and soft touch off the rim, glass and in. Teal up the floor for Edmonton. King swings it to the corner. Nuga, quick look at a three, and it goes down. The hottest shooter in the CEBL continues it. Edmonton with an 8-point lead. Feeling.
It's a pretty sharp contrast into how Edmonton was shooting the ball from the three in Vancouver. So it's nice to see, because last time they played here at home, shot the ball really well from the three as well. So took a step back in Vancouver, but back on their home floor, taking advantage.
This Western Conference game is presented by Cal Tire You can also follow at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Kyle splits through the Stinger defense, draws the foul and scores, and he will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, took a little bit of a gamble on that. I thought he was going to get it, honestly. It's such an interesting balance when you're, trying to be aggressive defensively, go for steals, trying to get those touches, but then also, going for one, missing, and then putting your team at a disadvantage, right? So there has to be a bit of a give and take, but I like the aggressive nature of the defense. Just need to be able to talk in behind and step in front and be able to help.
Kyle, just a 25% shooter at the line so far this year, knocks that one down to cut the deficit to 3. Teal guarded closely by Carey. Teal, that 3 won't drop. And now Kyle up the floor to Hollis, finds Kennedy. Kennedy, 3 doesn't drop. Bandamel. And now the pace picks up. Nice look inside to the running danger. Good feed from Samaj Teal.
Beautiful, especially after taking that bit of a questionable 3. It's nice for simple play at the rim, set your teammate up.
Lufile slowed up by Danger. Shot blocked with the follow. Nice play there by Hollis. No one put a body on him. Audis Tony into the game. First time for Edmonton. Here's Nuga. Finds Tony. Danger. He's bumped by Lufile. As the baseline cutting Bandamel, who turns it over trying to find Tony. Carey into the lane, loses it, but he'll draw the foul. Foul will go on Nuga. That'll be his first. He'll check out. Donald Carey Jr. at the free throw line. Spent a couple seasons playing with the Maine Celtics in the G League. Knocks down the first. So what was once an 8-point lead for the Stingers has been, for the moment, cut to 2. Nice pushback by the River Lions. And Carey knocks down both, and he will take a break.
I feel like that 5 minutes flew by.
Quick quarter here so far. Pace starting to ramp up. Blondo Chiqueno into the game for the first time for Kimball McKenzie. Now guarding Samaj Teal. Mason Boursier also in for Edmonton, as is Isaac Jack. Jack with the screen. Boursier loses it. Mohammed, hard look inside. Bucket will not go for Isaac Jack. Foul is on the floor. And that will go on Phil Jordan, and we are going to step out. 4:53 to go. Stingers with a 1-point lead on the Niagara River Lions from here in Edmonton. You're watching CEBL basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Edmonton. Stingers lead by 1 with 4:53 remaining in the first quarter. And Doug and Kira, tonight feels bigger than just a regular season matchup. These are the only two franchises in the CEBL history with multiple championships, and both did it in back-to-back fashion. Together, these two powerhouse organizations have captured 4 of the league's 7 titles, and every time they meet, there is history on the floor. Of course, fans in Edmonton remember the 2021 championship when the Stingers denied Niagara on this very same court to secure a second straight title. Since then, the River Lions answered with back-to-back championships of their own, cementing themselves as a modern CEBL dynasty. So tonight isn't just about the standings, it's about pride, legacy, and 2 gold standard franchises battling once again under the brightest lights in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Doug?
Well, and I happen to be sitting next to someone who was part of those championships with the Stingers, so she knows full well what that was all about.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
I'm sure it was a very good time. I saw some of the pictures. It looked like a good time. Ball rolls out of bounds. It will remain Edmonton basketball. Shot clock winding down. It's at 5. Teal's going to have to get something off here. Teal to his right. Goes right to the rim. Nice play. Nice recognition by Samaj Teal. Chiqueno guarded by the aforementioned Teal. Here's Jordan. Carey looks inside, gets it back. Shot goes, and sorry, that was Cam Warren's, my mistake, but the shot goes for Hollis. Foul picked up by Boursier.
It's unfortunate, like it wasn't the cleanest defensive possession that I've seen, but everybody was working really hard. They had a hand up everywhere. Like there was some good recovery and taking up space, and to end with that is just so unfortunate.
And Hollis gives Niagara their first lead. So first foul on Boursier, 3 team fouls for the Stingers, 2 for Niagara. Jack up top. Hands off to Muhammad to his left. Spins back, dumps it off. Tony, shot clock winding down. That one off the side of the backboard, and Chiqueno directs traffic. Trying to look inside. I think they got a mismatch with Kayo on Boursier. Instead, Jordan finds Hollis, gets it back. Phil Jordan with the slam, goes baseline.
A really good job there by Boursier to maintain position on Kayo, not allowing him to get the basketball, recognizing the angles that he needed because he's outsized by quite a lot. That was really impressive.
Another hard take by Teal. Kept alive momentarily by Edmonton, but here's Chiqueno. Kicks it out. Hollis left wide open inside, and we've got a timeout called by Jordan Baker. 24-19. The River Lions up on Edmonton. That's a 17-4 run the River Lions are on right now. Cal Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. You can shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. It's been, and we'll touch on this in a second, but both these teams have been prone to runs both ways, positive and negative, and we're seeing a bit of, for the Stingers right now, a bit of the negative. Niagara's starting to find some rhythm offensively.
I always attribute that to, like, I mean, and we talked about it in the pregame about building chemistry and it being early and having that trust and how it can be so tough at the beginning of the season. And the lineups, you have figuring out which lineups work best and who works best with who. And I feel like that lineup was just, they were working really hard, but there either was a lot of lack of communication and they seemed a little overzealous at times. Like their closeouts were a little bit too long and they were letting guys blow by. Someone was there for them, but now they've created an advantage and Niagara's taking advantage of that advantage and scoring. So just, yeah, a little bit disconnected. But I mean, lots of positives in terms of like they are working hard. They're just not in rhythm with each other right now.
And those runs were an issue in their most recent defeats for Niagara in Winnipeg. Held tight through a good part of that first half, but a 9-1 run in the last 2 minutes really pushed Winnipeg to a lead that Niagara could never recover from. And similar for Edmonton, a 12-2 run late after the Stingers had cut the deficit to 1. So prone to these runs. I think that's why Jordan Baker said, look, we got to try to slow this up a little bit here right now.
Well, and Niagara was getting such easy looks there. Like, it looked like Stingers were working so hard on the perimeter and trying to stop things, and then the ball gets inside, it's a wide open layup, and that's so defeating as well defensively when you are working so hard and then they just get a right-handed layup uncontested. And so definitely need to be communicating through that and clean that up.
Trey King back in the game for Edmonton. Tate Donald checks in for the first time. King will bring it up, guarded by Cole Long, who is in for Niagara. Donald, guarded by Chiquinho. Danger at the free throw line. Step back, jump shot, a little bit short. Nice rebound, hauled down by Warrens. Chiquinho works through the screen from Lufile, now to his left, cut off. To Kira's point, that perimeter defense, but then the explosion to the rim, and Lufile gets hit. Shot won't go, but he earns a trip to the stripe.
Yeah, there's lots of pressure on the perimeter right now, but then there's a lack of communication on what's going on the interior.
And you obviously coaching the Nate Ukes here in town, you're used to every season, it's new players in, players out. How long does it take to get your team in a position where some of those communication issues, I won't say are gone, but are maybe starting to disappear?
Oh, that's something I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know that I have an answer for you. It's a trust thing, right? And I think when you deal with girls and when you deal with men, it's also quite different. Like girls, you have to really bring it out of them, whereas men, I think it's more of a guiding what they're saying in that respect. But it's all about trust and buying into the process as well, right? Like taking what you're trying to do defensively and communicating through that and being okay hearing your voice. And I think part of it when you come to a new team and you're learning new systems, you almost feel insecure about what you're saying because you're unsure if you're saying the right things. And so that just comes with experience and time. And I think that everybody in the league is probably feeling that right now.
A spin to his left from Danger. That one won't drop. Here's Cole Long up the floor. Finished his college career at Memorial University in his hometown of St. John's, Newfoundland. Lufile just outside the free throw line. Kicks it out long. Shot fake, nearly lost at 5 on the shot clock. To his right, cut off. Fadeaway jumper goes for Cole Long. Nice shot.
Wow, that was same idea. It kind of bobbled in his hand, found a way to get that off. Nice shot.
Long averaging 8.5 a game. Tate Donald gets cut off. Ball out of bounds initially in favor of Edmonton. Kimball McKenzie and Regan Knish having an animated and a very calm discussion. Went from,
I actually quite like that.
I like that too, it was good.
It's like, no, he touched it. Oh, okay, fair enough.
But they're gonna turn it right back over. 5-second violation on Edmonton as they cannot get the ball in bounds. A 21-4 run right now for Niagara.
Yeah, I like having Nuga back in, like we talked about earlier. Like they need some energy here. Just flat.
Ball deflects out of bounds, will remain Niagara ball. Stingers charged so far just with 2 turnovers. Long cuts to the rim, they can't find him. Get it into Lufile. Chiquinho going up against Donald. Finds Warrens. Nice touch from about 8 feet. Tony to the elbow, cuts across to his left. Tony in traffic and a hard-working basket for Edmonton.
He's had a few of those. I feel like he's had a couple, like not tonight, but just in the last 3 games where there's a loose ball under the rim and he just wants it more. He's tough under there. I love those baskets. It's just pure hard work.
Former Arkansas Razorback tries to slow up this River Lions run. chance at a three-point play. Free throw goes. Leads the Stingers at the free throw line, 91%. He'll add to that with that recent make. Chiqueno. Connor Vreeken into the game for Niagara. Screen from Lufile. Chiqueno. It's around Nuga. Nice touch, but it won't fall. Danger up the floor. Tried to go through his own legs and Lufile's. And that, yeah, they did get that call. I was like, that was a clear backcourt violation. As the pass went from the front to the back, and it will be Edmonton ball with 44 seconds to go. Aaron Rooms will come into the game for the first time.
I love the mentality of the big man taking that breakout dribble, trying to push the pace right away. Like, you can get out and play so quickly when that happens, but there also has to be that awareness of traffic and again, that communication. Your teammates letting you know that there's somebody coming up behind or whatever the case is. But you got to push that ball way sooner and then get it back at a layup.
Trying to get a layup there was Tay Donald, but he looked up and Lufile was right there, but draws the foul, and Tay Donald goes to the free throw line. 62.5% so far on the year. And they will get Samaj Teal into the game as well for Mike Nuga, who will take a seat. Nuga with 2 fouls, so that's why they will bring him out of the game. First one goes for Tay Donald. Averaged just under 4 points a game a year ago in his second season with Edmonton. This season up to 8 a game early on. And both free throws go for Donald. Donald Carey Jr. and Keontae Kennedy will come in for Cameron Warrens and Blondo Chiqueno. Carey Jr. up for Niagara. Ball tipped by Teal into the first row. Long hands it right back to Carey Jr. Carey Jr. gets a little bit inside position on King. Ball bouncing around. Finally, King rips it down. Shot clock is off. So Edmonton can hold for the final look. Teal. Kennedy guarding him. Screen coming from Danger. Teal now on Lufile. Left hand doesn't drop. Game clock down to 1 second. Shot goes off the back window, off the front iron, and it will not fall. And that's where we'll end the opening quarter of play. The Niagara River Lions will head to the break with a 30-24 lead. Really good second half of that quarter by Niagara. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Center through 10 minutes of play. The Niagara River Lions up on the Edmonton Stingers 30-24. And Kira, it was really a tale of two parts of that quarter. Stingers really good start, up 15-7, and then Niagara really took over in the latter part of that quarter.
Yeah, and their offense seemed easy, and we talked a little bit about it during the break. Like, Stingers are not doing enough and then doing too much defensively. They're lacking a little bit of focus and intensity defensively, and so much of their offense comes from their defense. So they really need to start to get on the same page, talking through it and making sure that they're executing their plan. Like, Niagara had so many easy buckets in that quarter that it was, they're making their lives way too easy, and then they're coming down to a set defense always because they're making a shot every single time. Like, you're not playing with any sort of pace that you want to be playing with if you're the Stingers.
And those communication issues, certainly an issue for the Stingers against the Bandits on Friday night. Jalen House was able to really control things very well for Vancouver. First possession at the offensive end for Edmonton here in this second quarter. Danger, try to get it back to Teal.
Edmonton's got to get on the glass. I mean, they don't got to get on the glass if he's going to do that, but no offensive rebounds in that quarter, so they are down. Like, Niagara leads them 10-3 in total rebounds. Not a great stat for the Stingers.
Good shooting quarter, though, for the Stingers, shooting 56%. Niagara in the opening 10 minutes themselves shot very well, 61%. Kennedy, a deep three, falls for Keontae Kennedy.
He will do that.
Now
he likes that spot too, especially on the the few games I've watched, anyways, of his. He's not afraid to hit it from deep from that spot on the floor on the right side there.
And then Danger, what he's done so well all year, put the ball on the floor from the elbow. Here's Lufile on the low block, guarded by Danger, tries to spin around him, and then gets the little touch to go, and then the pat in the back. Those two battling at both ends of the Expo Center. Here's Rudes. Up top, Donald works around Danger. Danger, Lufile guarding him beyond the arc. Runes, three, short, rebound into the hands of Lufile. Up the floor, Kennedy has a shot blocked by Trey King as he tried to bring it down and then go back up. King able to swat it out of bounds. It's gonna be a foul call. I didn't see the initial call. Thought they had ruled that to be clean, but I stand corrected instead. It's a foul going on. Not sure who they have that foul on.
Yeah, refs and coach blocked our view.
Yeah,
couldn't quite see what happened.
The player they've got it listed on the board is Edmonton number 10, but there is no Edmonton number 10. Now we've got to correct it. There we go. Trey King picks up the foul. All right, now we're set. There was a contest in the building. If Kennedy missed both free throws, fans are getting something, but that's where you saw that noticeable after Kennedy knocked down the second one.
Devastated.
He is perfect at the line on the year. Kennedy from three, in and out, rebound, another one, the offensive end. Carey Jr., and he will have that back heel step on the sideline. It'll be Edmonton ball. Tone it inbound to Samaj Teal, former Indiana State Sycamore, where some guy named Larry Bird played his college career. Danger. No double comes. He finds Tony. Three rattles around, and we got a foul behind the play. Both officials will come over and talk about it. And it's going to go on Phil Jordan. That'll be his second. So it will be Edmonton basketball, 14 on the shot clock. Rooms cuts. Nearly another 5-second call against Edmonton. Now Teal. Kane just slips. Rooms now with the ball. Free throw jumper short. Rebound in the hands of Danger. He steps inside. Nice work by Dane Danger. And a delay of game warning after on Edmonton.
Strong finish through lots of contact there.
Kennedy up for Niagara. Here's carried up top. Jordan well off on that three. And foul on the floor. That will go on Emmanuel Bandamel. New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys today by visiting cebl.ca.
I feel like I jinxed it because that first quarter went so fast, and then these 3 minutes feel like they've taken forever.
Hollis kicks it out. Carey Jr. had the line a little bit short. Rooms to Bandamel. Bandamel. Little runner. Too strong, and back up the floor comes Niagara. Jordan. Step through, and that one's strong off the glass. Teal to his left, explodes to the rim. Teal, short rebound. Tony, and gets his arm pulled down. Shot won't go, but he will get a look at 2 free throws.
It's an interesting thing, like when I look at the stats, or even when teams that aren't the CEBL that play here in the Expo Center, and how the lights can affect how you're shooting.
Yep.
Even just watching that rebound go up, I watched the ball go up, it got lost in the lights for me. All of a sudden I'm blind trying to watch the play, and it really makes me think about how that impacts the players, and being able to adjust to different arenas like that, you know, the depth behind the backboard and the lights in your eyes and all of those different things that you wouldn't really think of.
No, it's a good point as Adis Tony hits the first free throw. I mean, this is an arena. It has been since it was built. But to your point, at the one end, it's very deep. So if you're shooting at that end, your depth perception can certainly be a little bit off. Whereas at the end that Tony's shooting, seats in behind and can sort of help a little bit in terms of that depth for shooters. The new lighting here over the last couple of years, it is quite bright. So it's shining right down on the floor. So you can certainly understand some of those challenges for players stepping in here maybe for the first time. Hollis, quick look at a three. That one rolls around and around and around. Finally decides to fall. And it's a 7-point Niagara lead. Teal, screen from King. King working against Long, has the ball tipped away. Good effort on the floor by Hollis. 5 on the shot clock. Rooms working on Lufili. Hard work there by the defending U Sports Player of the Year, Aaron Rooms.
And again, you find Tony in the middle of that, on the floor, making those hustle plays, getting them that extra possession. I feel like he does that quite well for the Stingers, and that's definitely something that they're in need of, especially following the loss in Vancouver. Those 50-50s are something that killed them.
Vandemel finds Teal. And that three is good. Timeout, Kimball McKenzie. And the runs continue both ways. Edmonton pushing back, 39-37. Edmonton trails. Will step out. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gym, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. 39-37, the River Lions up on Edmonton.
Thanks, Doug. The River Lions are opening up the 2026 season the hard way with a 4-game road trip that has tested the team right out of the gate. They started in Ottawa last Monday, headed west to Winnipeg, on to Edmonton tonight, and then they wrap things up in Montreal on Tuesday evening before finally returning home to Niagara for their home opener. When you map it all out, this team will travel almost 8,000 kilometers before they play a game in front of their home fans at the Meridian Center. That is a massive amount of travel in just over a week to open up the season, especially with different time zones, quick turnarounds, and limited practice opportunities. But championship teams embrace challenges, and the River Lions believe that this early stretch can help build chemistry, toughness, and identity before they settle into the long grind of the CEBL season. Doug?
Yeah, 5-game homestand for them when they do get back finally to St. Catharines, but trying to work through this road trip and see if they can get some wins on the board before they do head home. Off-balance shot there for Tony. Rooms collects the offensive board. Teal, 3 won't go. Good closeout there by Hollis. Ball out of bounds first off of Edmonton. It will be Niagara ball.
I'd love to see that out of Rooms, though. I think if he is focused on, being physical, getting some rebounds, and contributing elsewhere than just putting points on the board, I think he is so helpful. And what a challenge for him. The role differential between who he was on his OUA team and who he is here with the Stingers. And I love seeing that effort going at the glass, because that's something he can really contribute with the Stingers today and help them get this win.
Kayo, 3 doesn't go. Bandamel collects the defensive board. Picked up by Carey Jr. to his left. Pull-up jumper. Rattles around, doesn't go. Rooms again, to your point, Kira. Could not collect that offensive rebound. Hollis tries to create some contact instead. Pass ends, well, I'm not sure I can even call it a pass, but ends up right in the hands of Keontae Kennedy for 2. Teal. Picked up by Carey Jr. and an offensive foul being called here on Trey King. That will be his second. And so Dane Danger will check in for the Lexington, Kentucky native, Trey King. King in his first pro experience outside of the U.S. Spent a couple years with the Austin Spurs in the G League. Tay Donald also into the game for Samaj Teal. Here's Chiqueno. Guarded by Teal, or by Donald, I should say. Kyle working on Tony. Donald comes to help. Into the hands of Lufile. 3 doesn't go for Hollis. Donald with the board. Tay Donald. Bandamel to Danger. Quick spin. He'll survey the lane. Finds Dees. Tony. Nice cut there from Tony. Chiqueno. We hit the 3-minute mark. Left to go in this second quarter. Bounce pass to Kayo. And a foul coming up on Dane Danger. Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win with new prizes of $100,000 every draw. Get your Lotto Max ticket tonight. Must be 18 plus. And Nathan Kayo at the free throw line. 1 for 1 so far today. And that one thought about rolling out. Falls. And that one not so fortunate. So it's a 3-point River Lions lead. Donald gets it from Bandamel. Tay Donald played this season in Finland. Turns the ball over. Hollis, cross court. He had 2 players there. Kayo ends up turning it over. Here's Donald up the floor. Lob up. Doesn't drop. Rebound back into the hands of Donald. Kicks it out. Muhammad. 3. It goes for Abdul Muhammad.
Little bit of that energy, again, coming from their defense, getting a stop, getting a touch, being able to go out, play with pace, be urgent and have that energy, but not rushed. And I felt like Donald did a really good job there with that.
The three answered right back for Niagara, and Jordan Baker shows some frustration on the Stinger bench. Danger nearly lost it. Works up against Lufile. Double comes. Again, just such good touch. It's just really impressive watching a man that size able to work against Lufile.
He controls it. Like it looks like it's fumbling in his hand so often that it's coming off the base of his palm, and he's still able to have that soft touch.
Kyle pull up three. Out of bounds. That will go off the hand of Keontae Kennedy. Edmonton ball. Hollis comes out. Cameron Warren's back in the game.
Well, one of the spots that the Stingers were struggling with turning the ball over in Vancouver was like around the free throw line, the nail. Bigs turning their backs, trying to spin. Danger doing a little bit too much sometimes and having guards poaching. And it seems like he's made a pretty decent adjustment, so that's good to see.
18 turnovers in that game against Vancouver led to 27 Bandits points. So far, just 6 turnovers for Edmonton. Foul on Chiqueno. That'll be his first. Coming up at the half, the top 5 dunks from the past week in CEBL action. Mark will interview Niagara head coach Kimball McKenzie. We'll break down the stats from the first half and revisit Kira's players to watch. That coming up in a little over a minute's time at halftime here from Edmonton. Foul there on Keontae Kennedy, and Emmanuel Bandamel will head to the free throw line.
He did a good job of, it was a little bit out of control for my liking to get that call, but he did a good job of selling it.
And Hollis quickly back into the game along with Carey Jr., Warrens, and Kennedy, who picked up that foul, will take a seat. Quick chat from Kimball McKenzie to Kennedy before he takes a seat. Bandamel knocks down the first, his first free throws of the season. Bandamel last in the CEBL a couple years ago with Saskatchewan. And Jordan Baker is going to take a timeout here with 1:11 to go. The Stingers back in front by 1. So mentioned earlier those late runs, the issue for both these teams on Friday night, but maybe a little more of a settled last couple of minutes between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great for the Stingers to be able to take back the lead going into the half. That's such I mean, there's 1:11, so far from over going into the half, but it is nice to have that momentum shift at least. So that you're not down double digits going into the half is a huge thing. But yeah, and I think that's a chemistry thing. And again, like, we could probably talk about that for the whole first month of the season, that it's a chemistry thing, it's a trust thing, it's a communication thing. These guys are still figuring each other out. They're still figuring out systems. They're figuring out styles of play, what they want from what the coaches want from them, like all of these different things that they're trying to piece together while competing. And I think the sooner that they can do that and the sooner that they buy in, the better. And with the Stingers, like, it's got to be your defense creates your offense. Like, get those touches with that energy and get out and play with pace. Like, when they're all aggressive and they're all attacking, they're so much better than when they get just standing around in the half court and have bad spacing. So it's nice to see them get back to Stingers basketball, even if it's just for a short period of time going into the half.
I mean, when you were with the Stingers, obviously you dealt with that same challenge early in the season in terms of creating that communication. Yeah, you're trying to get systems in, but does the communication come through work on that, or are there other things that you're doing to try to develop that, not instant chemistry, but some of that chemistry with your roster?
Definitely have to do other things. You have to bond off the floor. You have to, when they're doing community events, when they're hanging out outside of practice and games, or just getting to know each other, getting to figure out how one another ticks. I mean, that team also, Jordan Baker was the captain of that team, and so it makes it quite a bit easier when you have a coach literally on the floor. But yeah, it's you have to bond, and you have to do that away from the floor as well. Great
take there by Hollis coming out of the timeout, right down the lane, spin, and able to float it home. Tony finds Muhammad. Now Teal picked up by Chiqueno to his left. And Teal, who's done a good job going to the rim all game long, that one unsuccessful, and he is down, as is Chiqueno. And that layup, good. And the officials just slow up play there as Chiqueno and Teal got tangled up, and both a little slow getting back into the play. Back and forth we go. Niagara with a 3-point lead. But a second differential between shot clock and game clock. Bandamel to his left, Emmanuel Bandamel explodes to the rim. He just made a decision from outside the arc. That's what he was doing, and nothing was stopping him.
Absolutely no help side. He'd open, his defender had just opened the gate and just absolutely huge dunk with 12 seconds left. That was amazing.
Get another look at that.
And I didn't even see it off the beginning. I was watching the action elsewhere, but yeah, just a completely open lane for him.
Kimball McKenzie calls a quick timeout with 12.2 to go, but Bandamel
came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere, but a huge play for him. Sparked some life. I mean, you and I have seen lots of games in this building, often a building with lots of life to it. Just doesn't seem to have that same energy, and it's kind of been the nature of the game. I won't call it a cautious game, but almost a bit of that energy to this game between these two teams.
And I wonder, like, you know, white knuckling a little bit. Like, they haven't had the most successful start to the beginning of their seasons. And granted, it's so early, and things can change incredibly quickly. But it's, you know, neither of these teams want to add another loss to their season so far, and so you start to do things that maybe are a little bit uncharacteristic, or you're a little bit fearful of some things as well. But like, there was no fear in that take whatsoever, so that was nice to see.
Well, and Emmanuel Bandamel comes into this game averaging 6 points a contest, but a player that can certainly, we talked about Nuga as a spark, Bandamel can be that kind of player for them too, offensively. Defensively
too, like there's a couple lineups with these Stingers where the defense is long, athletic, and very intense. Like there was a couple of the lineups from Saturday's game that were just a little bit scary, you know, if you're the offense coming down the floor, and Bandamel is a big part of that.
Under 10 to go, Carey Jr. guarded by Teal. Screen from Lufile.
Oh.
Carey hits the deck. 3, little strong rebound. Donald, he will try to get it off, but bit of a car wreck almost on that last possession. Players hitting the deck all over the place. And that is where things will end through 20 minutes of play, 49-48 in favor of the Niagara River Lions. And maybe testament to the kind of half that it really was, but we're now going to go down to Mark Majot with Niagara's Curtis Hollis.
Curtis, your team has a 1-point lead heading into half. What has been working for your team through the first 2 quarters?
Just playing with defensive intensity. We're trying to get in the gaps, trying to play hard, trying to play fast, just play our game.
What kind of adjustments do you want to see for the second half?
Probably cut a few turnovers down, try to rebound a little bit more. Just a little small details that we're kind of giving up right now that's giving them back to the lead. So other than that, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Thanks for this. Best of luck in the second half.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Curtis Hollis has a game-high 16 points, and his team leads 49-48 at the half. Coming up at halftime, we'll go around the CEBL, plus I'll be joined by River Lions head coach Kimball McKenzie. You're watching the CEBL on CBC Sports, CBC Gem, and CEBL Plus.
Jones was right at danger. Good help by the Stingers big, and now Teal 1-on-3, left hand will go, followed by Mike Nuga.
He got up that ladder in a hurry, Doug.
And that's what Nuga brings. We said it earlier. He brings that spark, and it's at both ends. He's not going to be the most prolific scorer for you, but he's going to
working on Mane, takes the screen from Tillman, dumps it off to him, and Tillman Jr. with a 2-hand slam.
What a smart play there by Walker. Tillman makes the block at one end, runs the floor. Walker gets him the ball, easy 2-hand flush on the inside.
And the Sea Bears lead 31-25. Saskatoon look.
Harding comes up short, thought he was fouled, but won't get the whistle there. House
Samuel slips inside and hammers it down.
I'd rather see him look like he shoots the ball better catching it than he does off the dribble.
Here's Fudge. Got Odro to bite. Fudge down the lane, dropping the hammer.
Yeah, Fudge used a nice ball fake there.
Alex Fudge with the tomahawk jam. Silence the crowd, Moncrief.
Speaking of which, Williams with the disruption, but Jones sticks with it. And Tevian Jones with an emphatic flush. Pushing the lead to 18. Sorry, Eric.
That's all right. Tev is just a great athlete, and he is long. Some of the longest arms in the league to go.
Harding comes up short, thought he was fouled, but won't get the whistle there. House. Samuel slips inside and hammers it down.
Asia working against Samuel, doesn't go. Nuga goes! And the Edmonton Stingers knock off the Vancouver Bandits.
Welcome back to Edmonton, Mike Nuga.
91-78.
I'd rather see him look like he shoots the ball better catching it than he does off the dribble.
Here's Fudge. Got Odro to bite. Fudge down the lane, dropping the hammer.
Yeah, Fudge used a nice ball fake there.
Alex Fudge with the tomahawk jam. Silence the crowd.
Speaking of which, Williams with a disruption, but Jones sticks with it. And Tevian Jones with an emphatic flush. Pushing the lead to 18. Sorry, Eric.
That's all right. Tev is just a great athlete, and he is long. Some of the longest arms in the league to go.
Here's Elmore trying to work his way inside. Hunter with some good defense. He's got to reset. Elmore settling for the three. Won't go. Omojofo's got it. He's got to put it up. It'll count if it goes. To beat the buzzer. Omojofo drills a half-court shot.
His first pro points is that. Talk about a memorable moment.
Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center at halftime. The Niagara River Lions up on the Edmonton Stingers 49-48 in what has been a game of runs back and forth. Edmonton early lead, 8 points. Niagara had an 11-point lead at one stage, now a 1-point lead. Kira, your thoughts on the opening half? What in a game that you and I both discussed, I won't say lacking energy, but just sort of at times a bit of a plodding pace to it.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, and it's like ruminating within the crowd too. There's just not a whole lot of energy. Like that Vanderbilt dunk, we thought that this place would absolutely explode, and you and I might have been the most excited people in this building, you know? Yeah, and I attribute that to it's early in the season. They're still trying to find their footing. They're both coming off losses, and again, like maybe they're just gripping a little bit too tight right now. Needed to kind of get into it, and hopefully the second half half has a bit more flow, a bit more rhythm, to kind of match their energy, because there was times where it was like high energy but doing too much, and then low energy and not doing enough, and they're really having a hard time kind of walking that line of intensity and focus, and really trying to create through that. But I'm hopeful that the basketball will clean up a little bit in this second half, and there'll be a little bit more, yeah, I guess clean is kind of the best word that I can use, is just clean it up.
And backcourt play has been a bit of a challenge for both of these teams coming in. We mentioned earlier the assist-turnover ratio, basically 1-to-1 for each of these teams. What have you thought about what you've seen from the backcourts of each of these teams?
I feel like they've actually been taking care of it quite well. Like Niagara with only 5 turnovers, Edmonton with only 6. It's just maybe the quality of shots, or again, like the rhythm in their offense just isn't quite there. And so it's not necessarily that they're turning it over and everybody's getting, you know, transition looks because the offense has been so bad. It's just disconnected, you know, one-on-one a little bit. One thing that I have really liked is Tony, I thought, had a good half. I thought that he had some bursts of effort, some bursts of energy, and coming up with some balls, and even seeing players like Aaron Runes getting in there trying to rebound. I think that those are really good signs for the Stingers. But yeah, in terms of like the backcourt taking care of the ball, like it's been pretty decent. So I feel like to that point of like the focuses of the game, like that hasn't really been an issue.
Very even game in a lot of ways. Both teams 18 for 36, rebounds dead even at 18 apiece, points in the paint 24 apiece, turnovers Edmonton 6, Niagara 5. So in many ways a very, very even ball game. 49-48, the River Lions up on the Stingers. We're going to step out one more time. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Available.
Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. River Lions lead by 1, joined by head coach Kimmel McKenzie. What was working for your team in that first half?
We played with good pace. I thought we were pretty solid defensively. You know, there are a couple loose balls we could have came up with, but in general, I think we're playing the way we want to.
What kind of adjustments do you want to see in half number 2?
You know, no major adjustments, continuing to play with defensive intensity, flying around and rebounding the ball well.
thanks for this. Best luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Head coach and general manager Kimball McKenzie. Let's throw it back to our broadcast team of Doug McLean and Kira Lyons. Doug and Kira.
Thanks, Mark. And yeah, I mean, interesting to hear Coach McKenzie talk about the fact he liked the pace. So that's, again, and when they got rolling, especially late in that first quarter, we saw the pace really ramp up. So we'll see if Niagara can maybe get back to that here in the second half.
Yeah, I think something that maybe they've struggled a little bit. I mean, sample size is so small already, like early in the season, but some offensive execution, paying attention to the detailed things. And again, I think that comes with it being so early and getting used to systems and players. And but that hasn't seemed to really be an issue here tonight. Like they're finishing plays, their spacing is better. They seem to have a bit more chemistry, but like the energy again still seems so weird in this game, and I'm sure that's something that they would like to adjust to as well.
And two teams that have struggled in terms of that offensive efficiency, bottom 2 in the league, and that's points per 100 possessions. Stingers 9th at 83.7, Niagara last at 73.5. So both teams trying to find some spark from an offensive perspective. But Kira, let's go back and look at your two players to watch and how they performed in that opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, when I look at Kayo, it a bit of a quiet half, and then I look at his numbers and I'm like, oh, it was very effective, and maybe that was just something that I was missing, but he's scoring the basketball, he's rebounding it, he's got a couple assists, he doesn't really have, I think he's only got 1 turnover, he's drawn a couple fouls. Like overall, like his stat line is really solid, and something that's been a little bit quiet to me anyways, so I was pleasantly surprised to see kind of how he's been doing. And with Nuga, I feel like he disappeared a little bit in that half, and I think he's got so much more to give, and he'll probably come out in this second half with a lot more energy. Like hasn't really scored a ton, not a lot going on in his stat line right now except for a couple of fouls, which also can throw you off. You get too early, you're sitting on the bench and you're not able to find that rhythm, so I'm expecting to see a lot more from him this half. Just
played 5:48 in that opening half, did Mike Nuga. Did hit a 3, so again, best 3-point shooter in the league right now, contributed that way. But to Kira, your point, 5:48, not probably the minutes that he'd like to, but those 2 early fouls certainly impacted that. Another factor in this game is that both teams getting out on the run, getting the break has been a little bit of a challenge in some ways for both these clubs. Stingers able to do that a little bit more last Thursday against Vancouver, 21 points in the loss, despite the fact they only had 3 fast break points last week in the win over Vancouver. Niagara on the flip side, they haven't really been able to get out on the break a whole lot at all. 11 points in their loss to Ottawa and 4 against Winnipeg. And again here today, similar numbers for both teams. Fast break points, 5 for Niagara, 4 for Edmonton. Do you see an advantage either way if one of these two clubs can start to push that pace a little bit more?
Definitely, and that all starts on the defensive end. Like your transition comes from getting stops, getting touches, and I think whoever ends up kind of figuring that out, the game just comes to you so much simpler. There's less thinking. You're not feeling quite as disconnected and out of rhythm with your teammates when you can play freely in transition and play with pace, and that comes from defensive energy, defensive stops. So I think that's got to be something that both these teams really need to dig in here into the second half. Is we need to be communicating. We need to make sure that we're keeping the basketball in front. We're making them make extra passes, extra plays, so we can get touches, we can get them deep in the shot clock, and then get out and run after we get those stops. And I think that's just a simple way to play. And we've talked about how disjointed this game feels and just kind of weird. And the best way to get back in flow with your teammates is to get those stops, get out and run, and play a simple game of basketball.
Doug McLean along with Mark Majot, and sitting beside me, the Canadian Colleges Athletic Association Coach of the Year, Kira Lyons of the Nadukes here in Edmonton. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you
such
so
a
much. That's so nice.
Well-deserved award. We are set to go here in this second half. This Western Conference game presented by Cal Tire. Teal finds Danger, a little left hand. Soft touch for Dane Danger, who was shaking his head. He thought he got fouled. Still shaking his head a little bit.
That's the other thing, like going into the half, the refs were being swarmed by both teams. Players, it's just like, get your head back in the game. They're not going to be making changes, like just focus on what you can control, and the game will come to you. But there's a lot of distractions, it feels like.
Kennedy with a 3, and then has a quick little chat with someone in the front row. Well, we mentioned all the stats before the break that were dead even. Well, another one, fouls, 8 apiece, dead even. Score not even right now, 52-50. Niagara up on Edmonton. Here's Teal. Pull up three. It is good. Samaj Teal gives Edmonton the lead back. His third three of the ball game. Carey calling for a screen from Kennedy. Kennedy now backs in Samaj Teal. Kennedy swings it across. Kayo, three is good. Nathan Kayo, 33% on the season from the three-point line.
Yeah, it's a little bit too easy.
Teal. King wasn't quite ready for that ball. Now he's got it. Dribbles it between his legs, gains control. Zips it to Teal, guarded by Kayo. 8 on the shot clock. Teal, one-on-one against Kayo. Dumps it off to Danger. Good recovery by Kayo, who blocks it. Kennedy up the floor, cut off initially by Bandamel, but then a foul. And that is going to go on Trey King. That's going to be his third. So that will likely send King to the bench. We'll see, and it is going to be Adis Tony coming into the game. So 3 fouls on Trey King. 5 points, 3 rebounds so far in this game.
The stat sheet is actually kind of crazy. Like even personal fouls and fouls drawn, dead even on both sides. Like that crazy stat sheet.
It has been in many ways a very even game. In and out. 2 misses for Kennedy, who
Maybe
obliges
that's what the crowd needed. Here we go.
Obliges
Some
the fans,
energy.
and they're going to get some coupons, I think, heading out.
The crazy dunk didn't get them going, but the missed free throw.
That's right. Danger turnaround. That is such a tough shot.
Wow.
A turnaround, basically skyhook left hand off the backboard and home.
Yeah, his ability to finish and his touch around the rim, and like I'd say around the rim lightly, because that was pretty far out for a skyhook.
Yeah, he got bodied outside the block, and I mean, I dare you to try 10 of those at home and see how many you hit.
And foul trouble, really.
And Nuga just came in the game, and he comes out with his third. So 2 players now on the bench with 3 fouls. King and Nuga. Look inside to Kennedy. Nice find there from Nathan Kayo. Tony. That's it to Donald. Back cut by Danger. They couldn't find him. Tony, 3 will not go for him, and now Carey Jr. up the floor. To his left. A little push off of Bandamel, and then the right hand. It's a 59-55 lead. Donald quickly to his left. Nearly turns it over. Tony, 2 players on him, and they're going to get a tie-up, and it will be Niagara basketball. Western Conference game, as we mentioned, presented by Cal Tire. Proud sponsors of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Carey Jr. might have needed some Cal Tires there as he skidded on the floor a little bit. And that'll be the first foul on Samaj Teal. Carey Jr. Lufile backs in. Well, Kayo has it deflected out of bounds. Carey Jr. and Kennedy chatting. Now up top, Lufile. Kayo. Backdoor to Hollis, has that shot blocked, ends up out of bounds. Bandamel tried to salvage it. He couldn't get there in time. Two on the shot clock. Carey Jr. to inbound. Lufile, and he will not get it off in time at all. And it will be Edmonton ball. And game clock got rolling a little bit. Edmonton, your summer plans just got serious. Join us for multiple special edition theme nights, much like Hoops for Heroes here tonight. Those theme nights will go on throughout the season. Purchase your tickets today at thestingers.ca/tickets. Get the shot clock, or sorry, the game clock reset to 6:40. Teal up the floor. Danger. Bandamel. Good from long range. Carey Jr. Screen from Lufile. Coach Baker thought there should have been a foul. Kayo to his left, cut off by Tony, and they're going to get a foul for the slap across the arms on Audice Tony. So the 4th team foul, not even 4 minutes into this quarter on the Edmonton Stingers.
Yeah, I was really hoping things would, smoothen out a little bit here in the second half, and so far, more of the same.
Cameron Warrens will come in. Keontae Kennedy sits. Cole Long will wait for Kayo to take his free throws.
One of the interesting things about subbing in this league that's different too is like recognizing that you have to have certain players on the floor as well, and that can be disruptive in lineups and the way that you're producing these lineups, because you have to have Canadians on the floor, and you could have a lineup that has a ton of chemistry, but somebody, you can't have one sub without the other, and that has to go into play when you're thinking about who you're putting on the floor. And I think that's just another level and layer of trying to find that chemistry in this league that makes it difficult for sure. Like I don't envy the coaches having to consider those things when making your subbing already. It's already so complex.
Great find there from Bandamel to Danger. And how is that managed on a bench? I mean, how are teams doing that typically?
Assistant coaches making sure that they're, you're aware of who's on the floor, and but I'm fairly certain that you just, with experience, it's just something that it's just added in, after you get used to it the first couple of seasons. It's just a part of the game, and so it's just something that you automatically think about. But you have assistants for that to help you out, making sure that you're staying on top of it, because you don't see it happen where they get technical fouls because you're not following those rules. I don't know that I've seen that.
Dane Danger answered the Carey jumper with a layup, and now Hollis for 3 off the side iron, and Teal with the ball. Teal left wide open from 3, won't go, and a push in the back. It's going to be Edmonton ball. They're going to get Elijah Lufile. I had his brothers on my mind. He's got 3 brothers that have all played in the league. Mishak, Chadrak, and Abednego.
Mishak was here.
Yes.
2 seasons ago.
I want to say 3 years ago, briefly, he was here. You're right.
Time
But
flies.
a pretty successful basketball family. Danger rips it down, and they're going to get a foul on Phil Jordan as Danger skied to get that baseline entry from Tay Donald.
Again, the fact that he got his hand on that and was able to control it is wild.
So the prior foul on Elijah Lufile, this one here on Jordan. So quickly 2 team fouls on Niagara. That ball turned over on the entry. Long as Bandamel flies by, and Cole Long knocks down the triple. And another foul here on Niagara. That one's going to go on Cameron Warrens. And with that, we are going to take a break. 66-62, the River Lions continue to lead the Stingers here from the Edmonton Expo Center. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Edmonton. Niagara leads 66-62 with 4:45 remaining in the third quarter. Dane Danger has been everything the Edmonton Stingers could ask for offensively to start the season. He's averaging better than 22 points per game, and so far tonight he has 22 points to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists, consistently giving this team a scoring presence with every single possession. But as impressive as he's been, one of the questions surrounding this roster right now is secondary scoring and where that's going to come from this season. So far tonight, Doug, only one other player is in double digits. The coaching staff wants more balance offensively, more players confidently stepping up into scoring roles because they're relying too heavily on one player over the course of a long season. That could be very difficult to sustain.
Samaj Teal, that player with 13 points for Edmonton, and it's always a balancing act, right, in terms of you want the balanced scoring, you don't want the ball just glued to one or two players' hands, but that balanced scoring means sometimes you don't necessarily know where to go with the ball.
Yeah, it's a test of IQ. You're hunting out the best shot while also trying to be effective offensively, you know, making sure that the ball is moving, that you're taking advantage of mismatches, and I think that's something that the Stingers could definitely do a little bit better. And again, I feel like a broken record, but it is chemistry, it's time, it's understanding how the system works, and how your teammates operate, where they want the basketball, where to give it to them, where they're successful, and that takes time. But these guys are pros, they move around teams often, and it's part of their job to figure that out. So hopefully it doesn't take too long for the Stingers to be able to get that balanced scoring. And I do think adding Nick Hornsby into that is a huge piece, because not only can he score it a little bit, but he's just an anchor, understands the systems, and can give the ball to his teammates in spots where they're going to be successful.
After the rugby scrum that happened on the floor, it's Edmonton ball off the tie-up. And they turn it over. It will be Niagara basketball. Nick Hornsby expected back in the next 10 days-ish, depending on completion of his season in Indonesia. So as you mentioned here, that'll be a very welcome addition to this Stingers lineup. Very consistent player on the glass, distributing the ball and scoring. 8 on the shot clock. Chiqueno kicks it out. Hollis loses it. Jordan has to put it up. Oh, banks it in.
Oh.
Nice look there from Phil Jordan, the former Brock Badger. Teal up top. Tony goes left, goes right, and the ball goes in. Back and forth we go. 4-point Niagara lead. Chiqueno works through long, has the ball poked away out of bounds. They're gonna say it goes off. Chiqueno out. Emmanuel Bandemel, who has made his presence known here in this ball game. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Contributes to that turnover, and it will be Edmonton basketball.
I enjoy listening to Mackenzie. I like his energy.
Nice balance of being fiery but measured at the same time, which you don't always see in coaches. Often it's one or the other, but he's, like you said, a nice mix of both. We have a good spot right next to right close to the Niagara bench. Foul here will go on Blondo Chiqueno, and a handful of subs coming in. Carey Jr., Kennedy Kayo in for Long, Chiqueno, and Hollis. Aaron Runes back into the game for Jordan Baker. And Teal goes to the line, his first so far today on the season. 67% at the free throw line. One of a handful of players in this game who played his pro basketball this past season in Finland. Also spent some time in Israel this year. As the River Lions bring the ball up, you can secure your seats today for numerous themed games throughout the season as the River Lions look for the three-peat. Tickets available at riverlions.ca/tickets. Kennedy collects that offensive rebound up to Warrens. Guarded by Tony. Spins in the lane, and they're going to get a carry.
Yeah, thought maybe he got away with that for a second. I don't know if it like rested on his hip there or what happened, but definitely got that call right.
These past 2 seasons with the Maine Celtics in the G League. Had a career high 22 points back in late November against Delaware. Rooms to Danger. And once again, Danger gets to the rim. That one doesn't drop. And Kayo up the floor for Niagara. 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. 3-point River Lions lead.
Really trying to take advantage of that Kayo-Boursier mismatch.
In the lane, and Boursier is going to get the foul as he got caught a little bit deep and then looked like he jammed his wrist. Maybe that left shoulder. As that ball came in, and Kayo just, as he gathered the ball, just a quick step in, and he kind of jammed that shoulder of Boursier. Boursier's second foul. Stingers in the penalty, and Kayo at the line. 3 of 5 so far today from the free throw line. Kayo good on the first. And the second. Jordan Baker brings Trey King back in, and Mike Nuga, both with 3 fouls. Isaac Jack to Teal. Nuga finds Teal working against Kayo. Step back 3 is a little shy. Warren's rebound.
Tough shot, had him on the first fake. Waited.
Carey Jr. on Aaron Rooms, gets Rooms in the air but has to kick it back out long. And Teal just long enough to strip that ball away. Now Rooms 3-on-1, lob up, and an offensive foul. Great step in for Niagara by Cameron Warrens.
Yeah, that's really tough. A 3-on-1 opportunity. Try to go for the big alley-oop. Just get the bucket. Just give it, you know, attack there, make him guard you, give it back to King. He's got a wide open right-handed layup. Like, there's no need. You guys need to score. You had such a great opportunity. Instead, it's a completely deflating play the other direction. Very heads-up play by, I'm not even sure who took that, if I'm totally honest, but that was really their only option. It's a 3-on-1. You had, you know, presence on the 3-point line, rim pressure, and that was really it.
Isaac Jack on the great feed from Samaj Teal.
There we go.
Isaac Jack with his first points in the CEBL.
It's got to feel good. First points are a dunk.
His first pro experience after playing at University of the Pacific under Dave Smart, former Carleton Ravens head coach. Teal going to get a foul on Kayo. I just want to quickly come back to that 3-on-1 from a couple possessions ago. It was a bit of crowding by the Stingers on that 3-on-1, and then Rooms, that little hesitation where you could tell he was sort of thinking, what do I do? And again, that little stop allows the step in. And so to your point, it's those little moments that can make big differences in how a game ultimately transpires.
Well, and it's that hesitation, right? Like, you have to be attack first. You have to be a threat so that they'll guard you. In that 3-on-1 situation, all they did was continue to get closer and closer to each other to make it easier to guard too. Like, you have to be the threat first, make them make a decision. And he made up his mind he was going to be a passer way too early. And like really, it was the worst, almost the worst outcome that you could have in a 3-on-1 situation. But there's that hesitation of like being a passer, trying to make the right play. It's like attack first, and then the rest of the game will kind of open up and come to you.
Yeah, and I certainly don't ask the question to pick on Aaron Rooms, but more I think to the theme we've talked about tonight, that communication piece of when do players like to get the ball, how do you get the ball to them? So just another example of teams still just trying to work through those things early in the year. Curtis Hollis.
And everybody loves a right-handed, well, I mean, for the most part, everybody loves an uncontested right-handed layup.
Yep.
So if you can create that for your teammate, that's always the go-to.
Oh, nice find, falling to the floor, Curtis Hollis, as Kayo kind of snuck in behind the Stinger D. Oh, 3 goes at the buzzer. Mike Nuga continues his hard start from long range, and that ties it up. Heading to the quarter break, 72 all between the Stingers and the River Lions. We'll pause and be back with fourth quarter action. You're watching the Stingers and River Lions on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. We are knotted up at 72 here at the Edmonton Expo Center between the River Lions and Stingers. It's now time for the Cruise of the Game, presented by Cal Tire. It was moments ago an outstanding feed from Samaj Teal to the streaking Isaac Jack for his first points in the CEBL. Nice to do it on a dunk. So for Isaac Jack, making his, well, it's hard for him not to make his presence known considering his size, but that's a nice way to get your first points in your first pro experience.
Yeah, just worked really hard, sprinted outran him down the floor and get himself an easy bucket. Something that they needed too, something easy, something with some energy. A great first bucket introduction to the CEBL.
Had a really good season this year, past year at Pacific, just under 22 minutes a game. 9 points a game, 5.3 rebounds. Started all 33 games for Dave Smart. And Jack remains in the game guarding Elijah Lufile. And Lufile has a shot blocked, but they are going to get a foul. And that will go on Jack. I think he had the block initially, and then just the strength of Lufile able to kind of fight through that, and that's where the arm came down on the wrist of Lufile.
Well, and I think he committed to the driver for too long. He was underneath the backboard. You didn't need to stay there on a double anymore and then go, reattach to your check and be able to get a hand on that pass. But his back was turned to Lufile, and he was committed, to the I'm not even sure which guard was dribbling underneath and just stayed with him for too long. You got to get back to yours because it was just too open in the middle of the key.
Lufile,
again, a communication thing, right?
Absolutely. 64% free throw shooter for the Milton, Ontario native. And he drains them both.
Although I need to keep in mind that these guys are a lot longer and are still a threat under the backboard at times when I'm probably not giving them credit for it either.
Donald finds Nuga. King gets the ball quickly on the floor. Fadeaway jumper. Gets the nice friendly roll. There's a little chat between Trey King and Kimball McKenzie.
Pretty cool dynamic that both teams have player coaches, you know, guys that have been around and are experienced in the league. You know, went from being big pieces on the roster to coach, and I'm not sure if Kimball McKenzie is also general manager, but
he is, yes.
You know, having that say, that influence after being, you know, such key pieces as players, it's such a testament to the league, and obviously people involved want to stick around because they're continuing to grow in their position and stick around.
That foul on Tay Donald, that's his third. Second team foul for Edmonton already here in the first minute of this fourth quarter. And Donald Carey Jr. misses the second. Rebound for King, up to Donald. Nice look to Rooms, runs the floor, and then a nice touch as Carey Jr. can't knock the ball loose. File guarded by Jack. Hollis now with it. Gets cut off by Isaac Jack, who just rips it away from Hollis and then draws the foul. And that's going to go on Curtis Hollis.
And Isaac Jack is coming out and making an impact in so many different ways. Like, you can hear him and see him communicating on defense, like making sure the guys know exactly where they are, and just the energy that he's bringing, and I don't know if that's a youthfulness thing, but he's very motivated out there. It's nice to see. It's definitely something the Stingers have needed.
Playing a little over 9 minutes a game and diving all over the place, and they're going to rule up balls out of bounds off of Tay Donald. But back to Isaac Jack, averaging about 9 minutes a game. You can tell Jordan Baker just trying to get him minutes and get him comfortable in this pro environment. And Tay Donald, whose left leg is already heavily taped, will take a seat. Samaj Teal back into the game.
Danger back in. Isaac Jack with a great shift. Came in, did good things with his minutes. Got to be happy with what he brought.
Chiqueno. In the corner, Chiqueno jumper is good. Rolando Chiqueno's first points in the ball game. King brings it up for Edmonton. I want to say hello too to those listening on Edmonton Sports Talk here in Alberta's capital or online. Aaron Rooms, nice work there with the turnaround fadeaway.
Oh.
And Phil Jordan finds a wide open Nathan Kayo, and an example of some of those breakdowns that really hurt them against Vancouver on Friday.
Just a perfect read by Kyle. Like, took complete advantage of the defense there and got himself a really easy bucket. He's been really effective so far in this fourth quarter. Like, they're getting him the ball in that mismatch. They're having to send two. They're having to send some traffic. He's kicking it out. They're hitting shots. Yeah, he's been really effective.
And there's a big turnover there that leads to a foul on Trey King. That's his fourth. So King will have a seat. Kennedy at the free throw line. Niagara River Lions will wrap up their season opening road trip when they head to Montreal to take on Javon Freeman Liberty and the Alliance. Action takes place on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And for the Stingers, they will take on the Calgary Surge in their first meetup of the season. Battle of Alberta will take place in Red Deer. Tip-off at 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern. Coming up on next Sunday. So Stingers with a little bit of time off. And that foul will go on number 15, Cole Long. So King has remained in the game with those 4 fouls.
Honestly, I like that. He's having a tough time finding his game tonight, and there's definitely some underlying frustrations that you can feel coming off him. It's like, let him work it out or he's going to foul out. And, you know, got the opportunity to get some good minutes from him to find some rhythm, then you know, I like that they're taking the chance.
Hollis fadeaway doesn't go, but the follow by Jordan deflects it in, and here's Teal. Bandamel, that 3 falls for the veteran. 83-82. Here is Kennedy. Now Jordan steps around, leaves it for Long underneath, danger on him. That 3 from Keontae Kennedy falls. 86-82, the River Lions up. King, that 3 well off the mark, and Chiqueno up for Niagara. And I'm going to go back and look. It looks like that foul was initially on the board for Trey King, but it was not credited to him. He's only got 3.
I was going to say, because he just took that last one. I was like, you're going to take that one as your 5th?
So
I was really upset.
Just wanted to correct myself, because they had it on the board initially as his 4th, but then obviously the correction came.
One of the things the Stingers really got to sort out right now, though, is their body language. They're getting scored on, and I see hands going up. Their energy is just, you can tell they're frustrated. Like, this is a 4-point game. Like, get your head back into it. And Niagara, they want it more right now, and that's, you know, can't be a theme for the Stingers to just be beaten with your energy by these teams. Like, you're in a barn burner right now. Like, get your head right and try and win a game.
We'll see if that maybe gets him a little bit of life. Defensive play there by Mason Boursier, drawing the offensive foul on Phil Jordan.
And he's a worker, right? So, like, he's a good positive energy out there, and so it's nice having him back to be able to lead that way.
And an offensive foul right back the other way. Dane Danger will pick that one up, battling with Phil Jordan. That's going to be the 2nd on Danger. Chiqueno gets it in, gets it back. And now Carey Jr. will bring it up. Working against Boursier. Boursier's minutes down, of course, dealt with that injury, did not play last week. The game here against Vancouver did see some minutes on Friday in Langley. Jordan to his left. Nice strong take
again
by Phil Jordan.
Some, like, Boursier working really hard, but I don't see anybody speaking to each other. Can't hear them talking, so there's just, it's very isolating when you're not talking to your teammates.
Nice job there by Danger to collect that pass. It was down at his ankles. He was able to pull it up, draws the foul. And 2nd personal on Donald Carey Jr. So Danger at the free throw line. His first trips today. And this is an interesting thing. The Stingers have actually been a team that has done a fairly good job getting, or better job I should say, today trying to get to the line, but still a struggle for them over the course of the last couple of years. Last in free throws attempted, 15.7 a game, and they were last in that category a year ago. So shooting well when they get there, 12 of 14 right now, but just not getting as many trips as they might like for a team that has some size inside.
Well, and I feel like there could be a lot of reasons for that, and I wonder if one of them, you know, like the philosophy behind their basketball is unselfish, you know, take the uncontested shot, find the easy one, hunt it out, you know, like they're always trying to get the best shot, and you're hunting for the best shot, and so hopefully you think that will put you in uncontested environments when you're taking shots, which are less likely to result in fouls, or you have guys that just aren't being aggressive enough and attacking and not able to create that offense through the the aggressive nature of everybody being an attacker. It's an interesting balance.
Danger tried to get out on the run, got fouled midway up the floor, and he will return to the free throw line. Foul will go on Curtis Hollis, and a timeout called by Niagara. 4:58 to go. We're just under a minute shy of reaching target score time in what has been a tight ball game. Early in the first quarter, Stingers with a fairly sizable 8-point lead early. Niagara pushed back, but since then it's been really fairly tight and back and forth.
Yeah, and it's gotten a little bit better since the first half, but it does still feel really disjointed. And again, so many conversations with the refs and just like weird body language, not the most positive energy that I've seen from either side. So yeah, but sometimes that's how it goes. The game sometimes isn't easy and you don't feel connected to your teammates, and you got to be able to grind it out, and these are important wins. These are the ones that you have to find a way to win, even when things aren't really going your way on multiple different levels. And so this is going to come down to, it's a 4-point game, a minute away from target time. It's, who wants it? Who wants it? Who's willing to battle through it? Who's going to be the mentally tougher team to be able to pull out this win?
3 Stingers in double figures right now. Dane Danger on 10 of 15 shooting has 22 points, go along with 5 rebounds. Samaj Teal with 16 and Emmanuel Bandamel with 10. For Niagara, 4 players in double figures, led by Keontae Kennedy's 19. He's 6 of 11 from the field. Nathan Kayo, Kira's player to watch for Niagara, he's got 18 on 6 of 9. Hollis with 16 and Elijah Lufile with 10.
I love when they make me look smart, It's the best.
And Danger will miss that first.
We were talking about him being able to control the basketball in those moments where it looks like he's fumbling a little bit, and then you see his hand on the basketball when he's shooting that free throw. It looks like that Shaq basketball that they made in the 90s or early 2000s. Like, holy.
Yeah, I think about 3 of my hands would match up to 1 of Dane Danger's. So on that unsportsmanlike foul, Stingers possession. Here's Teal. Bandamel, 3, draws the foul on Hollis, who was trying to close hard, but made some contact going by, and Bandamel will go to the line for 3.
And again, that mental toughness, like you're up 3, a minute to go before target time, and you're putting him on the line for 3. There was no need for that. Got to be able to close out games, got to be able to execute things when things aren't going your way. And
Bandamel 3 for 3 at the line so far today. Make it 4 for 4. Now 5 of 5. And Cameron Warrens will check in for Hollis, who picked up his 3rd personal. Of course, Curtis Hollis played with his head coach, won a championship with his head coach. Both of them on the floor a year ago. So lots of familiarity between those two. Of course, they are missing Khalil Ahmad, one of the best players in CEBL history. And Donald Carey Jr. off balance 3. It goes. And Kimball McKenzie imploring to his team, no fouls.
Be solid, no fouls.
called by Jordan Baker with 4:35 to go.
Kira, as we approach target score time with 4:35 remaining in the fourth, Niagara's holding on a 3-point lead. What do you think is being said in that huddle right now, looking for their first victory of the season?
You know, it's so funny. I was just thinking about how I wish I could hear what's going on in these timeouts, because I would love to know, you know, what they're talking about and what they're seeing out there, because right now, like, this game has been such a strange game, energy-wise, all of it, and so I would love to kind of get the coach's take on either side. But I mean, just like he was saying, it's don't foul. Like, don't foul, be solid, go into target time with a lead. Like, these next 35 seconds are really important on where you set the tone going into the target score. And so I think just making sure that it's, all right, let's make sure that we're communicating through, let's make sure that we're getting hands up, nothing easy, make the ball move, make them make that extra play, and then hopefully you get a look at an offensive opportunity before going into, you know, the last 4 minutes.
On the flip side, you've played in a lot of games, you've coached in a lot of games. Is it more nerve-wracking as a player or as a coach in this situation?
Coach. Oh, not even close. Yeah, like as a player, you might have a little bit of nerves in that timeout, but once you get out there and start playing, you know, you're so in the moment. As a coach, you can only control so much, and then it's just like, all right, go do it, you know?
Here's Danger to his right. Soft touch doesn't work for him that time, but poked back by Boursier. Nice play.
Nice ball movement.
Teal misses the three. Danger cleans it up and blocked from behind by Kyle Fowle, though, on Niagara.
I love seeing that effort, though. Danger and Tony in there trying to clean some stuff up. Like, fortunate he got to the line, but just fighting, you know, having that grit. Those are the ones that you need right now that are huge, that are going to get you that win.
Danger. I mentioned earlier the struggles for the Stingers to get to the free throw line, where they're at 20 right now, so they're kind of inching that number up to where they'd like to be. Danger misses that one.
Well, wasn't there a game not long ago they only shot 6 or something? I got a very strange number, so this is balancing out their average nicely.
They had 13 in the loss to Vancouver on Thursday. As mentioned, averaging just under 16 a game. Danger hits the second. So next whistle will put us into target score time. Kyle, guarded by Tony. Ball deflected out of bounds by Samaj Teal. And that will send us into target score time. Target score is going to be a nice even 100. First team to the century mark wins this ball game. 91-89, River Lions up on the Stingers. You're watching CEBL basketball on CBC.
Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama,
and anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time. He is cooking.
The River Lions up on the Edmonton Stingers. We are in target score time. First to 100 wins this ball game. And it has been a close affair, as we've said a handful of times. And the Stingers, who have definitely focused significantly on working in target score time, They're going to see if they can put some of that work to their advantage here over the next few minutes.
And it's such a contrast into last year when you have somebody like Sean East, who, when you get into a target time, is so reliable, and when you don't necessarily have that guy, or when that guy is, you know, a young big who doesn't necessarily have the ball in his hands like a point guard would in those moments. It's such an adjustment, and it's so player-led in target score time. Like you just have to score and you get stops. Like there is no time management. There's nothing like that. It's just score and stop, score and stop.
And quickly,
oh, that's too easy.
Nathan Kaya with a 3. They are up 94-89. Danger. Nice move inside on Lufile as they get their legs tangled up a little bit. And Trey King will check back in for Dees Tony.
Yeah, it's interesting how we talk about how few free throws they've been shooting and the struggle that they've had to get to the line, and Dane Dange's been at the line I don't know how many times in the last 5 minutes, at least 3, struggling to cash anything from there. But the fact that he's being aggressive and forcing them to foul him, like, what a great way to start this target time. You know, see it go through the rim, get a couple points, get them into foul trouble potentially.
Danger's spent half the last 10 minutes at the free throw line, hits the second. 4-point River Lions lead. They're 6 points away from a win. Carey Jr. pull up 3 in and out, swatted out of bounds by Danger. Lufile had good inside position on him, so smart play by Danger just to try to get the ball out of harm's way.
Yeah, after that 3 and then getting an easy 2 on a putback is not how you want your defensive possessions to go if you're the Stingers. So I like that extra effort just to get the ball out of bounds, make them have to reset, give yourself a chance at a stop.
Lufile looked inside, now gets it down to Kaya with Boursier on him. Boursier bodying him up. 5 on the shot clock. Kaya has it stripped away by Mason Boursier, and then he collects the ball quickly up ahead. King, layup. Timeout called by Niagara, and Mason Boursier defensively making an impact here for Edmonton, Kira.
Well, and I feel like I'm repeating myself so much this game, but like that's just mental toughness. He has not played very much. He also hasn't been consistently in the lineup, sitting out games, and, you know, came in, got a foul right away, was, you know, had a really short shift, but every time that he steps onto the floor, he is making an impact somehow. He is never outworked, and that is just a huge it's just attributed to his mental toughness, that he goes out there and he knows that he can make an impact just with his effort and his energy, and that's exactly what he just did there.
When he gives up 3 inches and 25 pounds to Nathan Kaya, so I mean, for him to force that, but you can tell, and again, you would know this having coached at such a high level, players that have those smarts, he knew what Kaya was going to do, so he kind of baited him into that little fadeaway, and as soon as he went up,
100%.
That's where this slap down came.
Well, and just like really wasn't letting him get to a spot, understood like where he was trying to get to, and just had outthought him, knew he was trying to get there, and again, like you said, baited him into that shot, and like what great hands to be able to strip him with that shot. And just the physicality, like he's working so hard to not allow him to just post him up on the block. Like when he's cutting, he's making sure he's in the right spot, and when he's trying to get position, he's getting back in front, he's being physical, he's bumping him. It's, yeah, but doing it in a way where he's not getting called for a foul. So it's like, again, that balance of being aggressive, being physical, but not putting him on the line either.
Donald Carey Jr. with Bandamil guarding him. Hollis sets the screen. Now Boursier picks up Carey Jr. Carey Jr., nice work inside, left hand.
And that was really nice by Lufile, making sure that he had some space to work. He had good position on Danger, so he couldn't get any sort of block. And then when he came back to that left, he had that wide open lane. Lufile, great work inside.
Teal, kick out, King, 3 is good. Trey King, the third, hits the big 3. It's now a 1-point River Lions lead. Screen comes from Lufile. Teal steps underneath it. Carey Jr. looking for a teammate to get the ball. Finally finds Lufile. Guarded closely by Danger on the wing. Kennedy, off balance 3, short. Bandamel will slowly bring it up the floor.
Taking that though.
Boursier, lob inside. Danger working on Lufile. Rips it back. Second one won't go. Good battle inside, as it's been all game long between those two. Lufile wins that round. Carey Jr. Bandamel on him. Lufile comes. Carey Jr. Hollis. Strong on that 3, rebound King.
Really great contest by Boursier, good rotations.
Teal, 16 points, finds King. 3 in and out, rebound. Bandamel tried to tip it home. No luck, and now quickly up the floor. Kennedy, kick out. Kayo, 3 short, rebound Hollis. Carey Jr. off the side of the backboard into the waiting arms of King. Jordan Baker trying to get his team to push the ball. Inside, Danger got separation from Lufile, and the Stingers with their first lead in a while, and their first lead in target score time.
I think this is a good timeout for the Stingers as well, as Danger looks like he needs a little bit of a breather, so good timing for them. But yeah, get that ball and go, hanging on to it and eating up that clock. Like, just go, place it with some pace. That's when they're at their best. You get a stop. Like, why wait for them to get back in position defensively? Like, attack them while they're unorganized. Again, like, Danger's been getting to the line, and so just attack them when they're unorganized rather than waiting.
Fast break points, 20-7 in favor of Edmonton. So to your point, Kira, they've had some success getting out on the run a little bit here tonight. Points in the paint pretty even, 40-38 in favor of Edmonton.
Well, and I think when, you know, you don't have that go-to necessarily who's like, you know, getting 24 point, you don't have a Teddy Allen on your team who's like an offensive, you know, a huge presence like that, or a Shawnee's. Like, in transition is such a good way to do it because it's an easy way to get everybody involved. And like, in the half court is a hard way to score. Everything has hard, but when you're in transition, just sprinting is really difficult, but there's so many rewards. And when the ball is moving and people are touching it, that creates that trust and that chemistry. And it's simple basketball. And then you're not overthinking it in target time. You're just playing with some freedom.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I think some of that you do take a little bit of that overthinking that can happen sometimes in a half-court offense when players just play, and it's, again, you're just reacting to what's in front of you as you're moving up the floor.
Not just the half-court offense, but target time half-court offense. There is a different mentality, and some teams tend to thrive a lot in the target time where others struggle, and Stingers have bouts where they struggle in target time, and when you can just play free and play in transition, it just kind of, you know, loosens your grip a little bit.
Carey Jr. with Bandamel guarding him, steps back. He'll reset with 13 on the shot clock. Calls for the screen. Kyle slips down to the lane. Phil Jordan into the game, loses it, and it goes out of bounds as Edmonton basketball. 3 points away from a win if they choose to look at a triple. Don't want to force it. And Samaj Teal to Trey King. Guarded by Kyle. Finds Boursier. Here's Danger. Quick little fake. Off balance. That one won't go. Rebound into the hands of Kyle.
Big stop here.
Carey Jr.
Big possession for Niagara.
Kennedy to his left. Nice take. Doesn't fall. Rebound tipped home again, and a foul called on Edmonton. Couple offensive rebounds there for the River Lions. Foul will go on Samaj Teal. That'll be his second. Curtis Hollis at the free throw line, 1 of 1 so far tonight. hits that first one. River Lions 17 of 23 from the free throw line. Second one goes, and a timeout called by Jordan Baker. 98-97. The River Lions leading the Stingers. So River Lions a couple points away, Stingers a three-way. In this situation, Kira, what are you talking about at the bench? Are you again, you don't want to force a three, but you kind of recognize the score situation. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you trust your defense, and you take the right shot. If you have a wide open layup, if you have a good mismatch or a take that is in your wheelhouse and a good look for what you're trying to hunt offensively, then you take that. If that happens to be a three, wonderful, right? And then also recognizing, like, if I have a layup but I've got a really good three-point shooter where I can give them an in-out three, maybe that's where I'm going with it rather than taking the layup. So it really depends on personnel and kind of the situation that you're in. You need a bucket. At the end of the day, you need a bucket. That's the priority. You need a bucket and a stop. If it's a three, wonderful, end the game. If it's not, then you just trust your defense that you're going to get that stop and then give yourself an opportunity to win it on the next possession.
Stingers came into this game third in the league in three-point shooting at 36%. Shooting it very well tonight, 10 of 21, 47%. King, Nuga, and Bandamel with 2 apiece. Samaj Teal with 3. If they do choose to go that way, those are the guys that have been knocking them down so far here today. Reset the lineups. Danger, Bandamel, Boursier, Teal, and King for Edmonton. Carey Jr., Hollis, Kayo, Jordan, and Kennedy for Niagara. River Lions looking for their first win of the season. Stingers looking to even their record at 2-2. Here is Teal quickly up the floor. Samaj Teal. And it will be a foul on Nathan Kayo. So that will send Teal to the line.
And
so
defensively, pretty good strategy, honestly. Like, go for the steal. If you foul, then they can't win the game on the. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. There are possibilities where they could still win it, but if you take care of the rebound, if he misses, you take the opportunity away to win the game.
Teal knocks down the first free throw. Teal 67% free throw shooter so far this year. Hits the second. Now Niagara with a chance to win it. Essentially next bucket wins. Carey Jr. picked up by Bandamel. Screen, Jordan. Carey Jr. off balance. 3 goes! Donald Carey Jr. wins it for the Niagara River Lions. A bit of a runner 3.
And quite contested with a long arm. Like, that's a really difficult shot.
His third 3 of the game. And Donald Carey Jr. finishes with 16 points. And Niagara will come away with their first win of the season, 101-99 over Edmonton. Stingers will fall to 1-3, including 1-2 here at home. It's certainly a degree of difficulty on that shot, like you said, Kira, not an easy one at all.
Well, and, like, I wasn't anticipating that he was going to take that, so he really caught the defense off guard, I thought, but it was still highly contested and early, and so it just caught him off guard. It was a high risk, high reward shot, which you do see that in this league with the game-winning opportunity for these players. Some are willing to risk it, and some aren't, and sometimes it pays dividends, and sometimes it doesn't.
So big win on the road for Niagara, who again will continue on the road. They will head to Montreal before they head home. And we will go to Mark Majot, who is joined by our player of the game, presented by Booster Juice. Mark with Nathan Kayo.
Well, Nathan, congratulations, your team's first victory of the season. How good does it feel to get the monkey off your back?
First, all glory to God. Just to be able to play is a blessing. And it feels great. We have a lot of new players. Obviously, we have a new coach. But just to stick it through, play a tough game against a really good team, feels really good.
What was going through your mind when your teammate rose up and hit that game-winning three-pointer?
I mean, he didn't do the play we called, but hey, shout-outs to him for being confident in himself in his shot and helping us get the win. I know you're in the middle of just a grind 4-game road trip. How good does it finally feel to get this victory so you can look ahead to Tuesday night? It feels really good, man. We're trying to build great habits. At the end of the season, that's when it most matters. So right now, we're just trying to build great habits and keep one game at a time. Looking forward to getting some home cooking soon? Yeah, for sure, definitely. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the night, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you. Coming back after the break, Doug and Keir are going to wrap things up, but the Niagara River Lions get their first victory of the season. 101-99, they defeat the Edmonton Stingers. We'll be back on CBC Sports, CBC Gem, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Center, where the Niagara River Lions have gotten Kimbo McKenzie's first ever professional win as they knock off the Edmonton Stingers 101-99. Doug McLean along with Kira Lyons and Mark Majot. And it was a game that took a while to get going with some energy, and then it was a pretty nice, pretty exciting, interesting finish. And for Niagara, that's a huge win.
Yeah, I almost had a sigh of relief that, there was some good basketball played near the end there, because it felt so disjointed and so out of rhythm that it was nice to see them kind of, the compete level take over enough that they were able to find some rhythm with each other. But yeah, a tough game for both of them. Wins aren't always pretty. Niagara obviously just wanted it a little bit more than the Stingers did today, and finally captured that win that they've been looking for.
Dane Danger with 27 points in a loss for Edmonton in a game where it sort of felt like neither team could really wrestle control away, but ultimately it is Niagara who had built a reasonable lead and put themselves in a position to get that win. Just one game on the CEBL schedule tomorrow as the Winnipeg Seabears travel to Ontario to take on Shawnees II and the Brampton Honey Badgers. Tip-off from the CAA Center at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. You can catch all the action on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. So big win for Niagara. Edmonton falls to 1-3. They'll try to right the ship next Sunday in Red Deer against the Calgary Surge. On behalf of Mark Majot, Kira Lyons, our outstanding crew bringing you all the action from here in Edmonton, I'm Doug McLean. Thanks for tuning in here today. River Lions knock off Edmonton 101-99. Have a good rest of your weekend.
some action.